Good Monday evening. Welcome to Midwest Sports Net. Hi, I'm Joey McWilliams. Football is good and going strong. We are in week 2 now. Small college football throughout the Midwest and beyond. That's what we talk about here on Midwest Sports Net. Small college football, small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. So I'm excited to get to be here with you tonight. And let's talk some top 5 performances here throughout the NAIA. And we're going to go with our top 5 performances. We're going to go beyond the 5 as well because there is so much to talk about tonight. We are back here in Studio B right now. Had a great trip to Wichita on the campus of Friends University. Got to watch some good football on Saturday night. It was a little rainy outside, and I'm going to tease Levi Converse, the sports information director, just a little bit. He was promising me sunny and 80 degrees. It was a little bit rainy outside. That's okay. Nice and cool football weather. We had a good time. Let's go beyond the 5 for just a moment now. And as you're watching, please be sure and let us know from where you are watching tonight, maybe who your favorite team is as well. Let's see if you get a mention in tonight's broadcast. Let's start and go beyond the 5. Let's go to Lee Kirkland from Pikeville. The Bears defeated Kentucky Christian 54-33. Kirkland 26 for 33 passing, 390 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick on the day. Was able to find Diego Soto a few times as well. How about 9 receptions for 149 yards and a touchdown, a 95-yard touchdown for Soto too. So Pikeville defeating Kentucky Christian. The Knights go down 54-33. TJ Hookfin from Texas College. We didn't get to talk about Texas College as often, and Hookfin gives us a reason here in a loss to Langston. Hookfin with 4 receptions, 167 yards on the day, 2 touchdowns for the Steers. Lions go get the win, 55-24. St. Thomas, let's talk about the defense here for just a moment. The Bobcats held St. Xavier, who was, to a certain point, St. Xavier was in the top 25. The Bobcats hold St. Xavier to just 10 yards rushing on the day. Come away with a 31-10 victory. Nicholas Engler with 7 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks on the day for St. Thomas. So the Bobcats shine, and they have a good afternoon and a good effort and a win to go along with that. There is a new kicker in town in Surprise. Ottawa, Arizona let Landon Reeves come out and play for a little while. Now, the Spirit last week just absolutely blew Lyon out of the water, and it was a 70-0 win. Ottawa missed the extra point attempt after the first touchdown. Never attempted an extra point again the rest of the day and scored 9 more touchdowns. Went for 2 each one of those times and made 5, missed 4. 70-0 was the score against Lyon. It's another win for Ottawa as they defeat Southwestern Assemblies of God, which, by the way, was a big win out in Surprise. 39-12 the final, though. Landon Reeves, though, comes in kicking duty, and not only is he 4 for 4 in extra point attempts, he's also 3 for 3 in field goal attempts as well. So he accounted for 13 points on the day. Congratulations to Landon Reeves, the junior kicker, new kicker in town in Surprise. I was in Wichita and had a chance to see this next player personally rack up some points. DJ Sears, the Bethel Wildcats quarterback, taking care of business against the Falcons on Saturday night, and he looked good. 8 for 10 passing, 35 yards. That's not the biggest part of the Wildcats offense. It's just not going to be. It's a ground game. It's going to be a ground game. But Sears, not afraid to throw the ball, connected on 80% of his attempts. Now, again, 35 yards. However, he made up for it. 15 carries, 139 yards, 3 touchdowns. A fantastic night for Sears as the Bethel Threshers, I believe I said Wildcats earlier. I'm thinking wrong state. The Threshers, someone's going to watch that and call me on that. The Threshers come away with the victory, 28-16. Sorry, Bethel. I know North Newton had Father Abraham playing somewhere, but it's all about the Threshers there. 28-16. By the way, Josh Siebold, an incredible defensive player for the Threshers. Siebold not only gets a forced fumble in the game, he also seals the deal as Friends trying to come back, trailing by 5 points late in the contest, deep in their own territory. Siebold able to knock the ball to himself, pick it off, take it on in for the score. Siebold has a forced fumble and an interception, which, by the way, was a pick 6 as well. So congratulations again to the Threshers of Bethel for the big victory at Friends. Mid-American Nazarene The Pioneers are 2-1, and I did get a comment saying, "Hey, listen, where's the Mid-America love?" And it was in the post game. I was just giving top 25 scores. So I will say here really quickly, Mid-America Nazarene did defeat William Penn 33-9 on Saturday. Cameron Finley, 19 carries, 123 yards and a touchdown. And Mid-America Nazarene is 2-1. Shout out to Stephen, a Texas Wesleyan Dalton Dale fan. And the fighting Dalton Dales did get another victory. I listen, Stephen, just to let you know, the Rams are a dark horse favorite around here to make the playoffs. And we were using that term in an earlier broadcast as to who was not picked to be the conference favorite, who could make the playoffs. And our panel here, Texas Wesleyan comes up. Obviously, Ottawa picked in the preseason poll there in the Sooner Athletic Conference. The Rams, however, I think are continuing to make some noise, and it's gotten some attention. So the fighting Dalton Dales get another victory in this weekend. I think they're going to be definitely a team to watch. So thanks, Stephen, for watching tonight. Go Rams. Midland. How about Midland? Midland now number 23 in the country. We're still beyond the 5. We haven't gotten to our top 5 just yet. We're still beyond the 5. Midland is now 3-0. Now, I like talking about Midland in the fall. However, I'm used to talking about Midland when it comes to volleyball. Coach Paul Gieselman's squad, which, by the way, right now 12-1. They've won 11 consecutive matches. Talia Flores, great job, good outside. Hope Leinbach, great setter. I think she should get national recognition again this year. And we talk about NAIA football. That's where I'm used to talking about Midland. Midland football is making some noise right now, folks. They're 3-0, and they are tied with Morningside atop the GPAC standings, 2-0 in league play, 3-0 overall record. And Midland is doing it, though, by the way, with a defensive effort. And you have to look at this and think, how are they getting this done? A blowout win against St. Mary in the opening contest, 64-10 was the score. Averaged 7.4 yards per play, getting things taken care of. The next victory, well, they gave up only 10 points, but scored 50 less. And Hastings Midland getting the win over Hastings, 14-10 in that one. And the Warriors pick up only 2.5 yards per play. Still scored 14 points. This weekend, a 20-6 win over Doane. Just 3.7 yards per play. And so this is, it's a defensive effort. The offense was there in week 1. Really hasn't been there that much right now. And Midland giving up less than 9 points per game. 8.7 points per contest. The Warriors are getting done for Coach Jeff Jamrog. And congratulations. What an effort he has. I know things in his alma mater are not going that well right now. So things down in Lincoln, a little ways south of Fremont there, things down in Lincoln, Huskers are going through a hard time. So Coach Jamrog's alma mater not doing so well. But right now where he is and where he is leading the way in Fremont, a little ways north there in Nebraska, they're getting it taken care of. So good job to the Warriors. How about Waldorf? Also 3-0 for Coach Will Finley. They're now the equivalent of number 26 in the country, according to the poll that just came out today. Receiving votes, but they're the tops among those receiving votes. 3-0 in the year, scoring 43 points per game. Waldorf is. Jordan Cooper, 14 for 26, passing for 284 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick, as the Warriors defeated Stetson on Saturday, 54-21, Division III school. We'll talk about an NAIA team defeating a Division III school here again in just a moment. One more really quickly. Briar Cliff, still outside the 5, still beyond the 5. Briar Cliff, the Chargers playing Jamestown this past Saturday. Now, Jamestown has been a program. They've been the Cardiac Kids in the last couple of weeks. Jamestown coming from behind, getting a win week 1, coming from behind last week, getting a win. They just went up in the final moments of this game by 1 point over Briar Cliff, and then Briar Cliff simply out Jamestown and came from behind, scoring 2 plays, getting all the way down the field, a quick pass and a score. Luke Davies, 36 for 46 on the day, 397 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Demarion Nelson, 10 receptions for the Chargers, 125 yards and a TD. Kobe Johnson, 10 receptions for the Chargers, 113 yards and a TD. And how about Winston Gassant and Brent Tinker, both with 12 tackles on the afternoon. So Briar Cliff getting the win over Jamestown, and the Jimmies fall to 2-1 behind Midland, by the way, in that GPAC standings. All right, let's go right now to our top 5, and let's start with Campbellsville. The Tigers are 2-0. Trey Bass, 23 carries for 192 yards and 2 touchdowns on Saturday. Campbellsville defeats Union 42-14. Really quickly, Trey, so the numbers changed. I just wanted to let you know, because when I was looking at these numbers earlier in the week, and it said 202 yards, you had crossed the 200-yard plateau. It says 192 today. So somebody changed some numbers along the way. Sorry about that. I hate that because you always want to see that 200 up there. So Trey Bass, 192 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. A good effort, by the way, for Campbellsville on defense as well. Shout out to Mark Pruitt, who had 5 tackles and 2 interceptions. Now, 2 interceptions in a game. Ordinarily, I would say, hey, listen, this is going to be top 5 material pretty much any way around. Beyond the 5, definitely top 5 material. But wait, because 2 interceptions doesn't quite top the list. We'll get to that in just a moment. Stick around. We're going to talk about that more. Also in our top 5, Southwestern quarterback Brad Cagle. The Southwestern Mound Builders, now number 6 in the country, according to the most recent poll. 2-0 are the Mound Builders. And Southwestern defeated Bethany. Swedes go down 65-0. Cagle, 10 for 16, 173 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He wasn't done. 5 carries, 34 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. Cagle accounts for 5 touchdowns in the win for the Mound Builders, and they are showing some dominance now. One of 3 teams at the top of the KCAC standings last season. They're right up there at the top again, 2-0 right now. Morningside, the number 1 team in the country, and we can't ever bypass them. We try not to bypass them. You know they're always going to be up there in the top. I think this is the first time we've talked about Joe Dolenchek in the top 5. How about his numbers? Dolenchek, 23 for 35 passing, 393 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. And that's Dolenchek is just he is a man among boys out there, taking care of business, leading the way. Got his team to a national championship last year. The 3rd and 4 years for Morningside. Dolenchek leaving no doubts here in the early going after a big victory last week against Northwestern. Then, against another top 25 team, they get the win over Dort. 49-21 is the final there. Zach Norton, a GPAC Offensive Player of the Week this week. It was just announced. Norton, 9 receptions, 176 of those yards, and 3 of the 5 touchdown passes that Dolenchek threw went to Norton. So a good afternoon for him as well. The NAIA Player of the Week last week on offense was Dolenchek. The NAIA National Player of the Week on defense was Isaac Pingle. He has another good afternoon for Morningside for the win. 9 tackles, a sack, and an interception as well. So good job all the way around for Morningside. The Mustangs continue to roll. We have a couple more here. I want to say thank you to the folks watching, and please take the time, like this video, and also subscribe to the channel if you would. It really does help. We are growing, and we enjoy covering small college sports throughout the Midwest and beyond. So please help us out there and continue that. By the way, still have a chance to comment. Let us know from where you're watching, maybe who your favorite team is. How about this? We talked about Pingle getting an interception. He did well. Mark Pruitt got 2 interceptions. He did well. Evangel, the Valor, going up against Culver Stockton. Now, the Wildcats getting a win last week. I was in Wichita. I'm trying to get scores ready, wanting to do a little bit of a post-game show. We did a post-game show from Austin Adair Field on the campus of Friends there in Wichita. And I look and I see that the final score is Evangel 26, Culver Stockton nothing. Okay, that's fine. Good win for the Valor. Maybe a little bit surprised that they shut out the Wildcats, but that's okay. Start to look through these numbers. And they did it. It's not just the shutout that Evangel put on the board and took care of business. It's the way in which they did it. And they were just picking the ball off left and right. And I mean this literally. I mean, they're just one after another. How many interceptions did the Valor get on Saturday? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 interceptions on the day. The Evangel Valor picked off the Wildcats 8 times on Saturday. A fantastic effort. Now, don't feel bad for Culver Stockton's quarterback, because it wasn't just one person that was throwing all these interceptions. And it was an interesting mix here. There were four different players for Culver Stockton that threw a pick, and four different players for Evangel that intercepted the ball. And we'll talk about all those on Culver Stockton side. How about this for Evangel? Ian Airy with an interception on the day. Colin Eli with an interception on the day. Okay, that's two. That means the other six are spread out among two players. That's right. Two players for Evangel had 3 interceptions on Saturday. Anthony Leverathon with 3 interceptions on Saturday. Ty White with 3 interceptions on Saturday. 3 interceptions is a career for some folks. It's definitely a season for many players that that's, and it's not a bad season. But 3 interceptions in a day, and 2 different players on the same team did it. Shout out to the Evangel Valor. I was driving through Springfield last Saturday, as a matter, not 2 days ago, last Saturday. Headed up to Warrensburg. Family in Warrensburg, stopped through Springfield, and actually drove down on Boonville Drive, I believe, is where the campus of Evangel is. If somebody knows, and comment if I missed that, but I think that's right. So shout out to the Evangel. Wow, what an effort. 8 interceptions. They pitch the shutout and get the win over Culver Stockton. One more of our top 5. So let's get this one here really quickly. Mayville State, the Comets. I like the Comets. Comets, that actually is a high school mascot. When I was playing way back when, actually I played basketball. I didn't play football, but basketball. And we were the Comets. Doesn't matter. Mayville State's the Comets. And the Comets were shining on Saturday. A 55-48 victory, overtime victory over Division III Nebraska Wesleyan. Props to Mayville State. Fantastic win. Let's talk about how this is done here, really. Tim Salmon for Mayville State, 22 of 40 passing, 525 yards, 7 touchdown passes. Had a pair of picks as well. We're not going to concentrate on that as much right now. We're going to go with the 7 touchdown passes for Tim Salmon. 22 of 40, 525 yards passing. And he was able to distribute the ball well. Of those 7 touchdowns, they went to 3 different receivers, and each one of them at, above, or near 100 yards. Reese Smith with 4 catches for 175 yards. 3 of his 4 receptions were touchdowns. Javion Davison, 3 receptions, 114 yards. 2 of his 3 receptions were touchdowns. Joshua Portillo, 3 receptions, 98 yards. 2 of his 3 receptions were touchdowns. 7 touchdowns among 3 players on the day. But that's not it. It's not just the 7 touchdowns, but it's also the fact that the Comets get the win too, and they do it. It takes an extra session. You have to go in there, get a little bit more. The score's tied 48-all. Mayville comes back, gets things tied up 48-all. And then in overtime, Mayville State had the ball first. Lose a yard, couple of plays that go nowhere, and then it's 4th and 11. Coach Rocky Larson, he's not going to kick the field goal, not going to try to get 3 points on the board. He's going for it. And that's exactly what happens from 26 yards out as Salmon finds Reese Smith, 26-yard touchdown pass. Mayville State goes up 55-48. Can they hold on defense? They can. Now the Prairie Wolves are coming down. They're getting in close down to the 5-yard line, where at this point in time, Jordan Richardson forces the fumble, recovers the fumble, and stops the Prairie Wolves. Mayville State comes away again with the 55-48 victory over Nebraska Wesleyan. Fantastic afternoon, fantastic day. Lots of yards, lots of points on the board. 103 points scored total between the two teams. And again, Tim Salmon, 525 passing yards and 7 touchdowns. There was a lot going on this weekend, and if you don't follow NAIA football, you should be watching this, because small college sports, they are a blast, and we really enjoy covering it here. I want to say thanks to everyone who is watching right now. Maybe you're watching the replay as well. Again, please consider giving this video a like and subscribe to the channel, because it really, honestly, it does help. And tell us who your team is. We'll talk about your team as well. We talked about Mid-America Nazarene here. We're going to continue talking about Texas Wesleyan, and I have a feeling the Rams are going to continue to give us something to talk about as well over the course of this year. I think that they're putting themselves in a good position to do well. But again, Trey Bass, Campbellsville, Brad Cagle, Southwestern, Joe Dolencheck, Morningside, the entirety of the Evangel defense, which includes Leviathan and White specifically, and Tim Salmon from Mayville State. Our top 5 here on Midwest Sports Now. Thanks again for watching. We really appreciate it. Keep coming back here to Midwest Sports Net. God bless you all. Have a great night.